Hello, this is Vex, and welcome back to Tyranny. If you recall in our last video, we had just finished delivering our edict to the Archons. The edict that states a member of Kairos' court must proclaim victory over the tower in the center of Vedrian's Well, or everyone in the valley will die. The Archon of Secrets, the voices in Arat, is no longer here, but Graven Ash is. Why don't we continue speaking with Graven Ash? See what he has to say to us. The Archon of War lets out a long sigh as he surveys the maps and models splayed about his desk. He glances over his shoulder, making brief eye contact with you, furrows his brow, and turns back to his contemplation. The first time you proclaimed an edict, you gave the enemy a suspicious amount of time to ready themselves. I chalk it up to excessive mercy for a backwards people. But when the edict is against your kin, that order you follow to the letter. Now we can bow to him, ask to talk, remain silent, or just go away. Well, let's be kind, and let's bow to him and ask if we can talk. I tire of all this endless prattle. I am the Archon of War, and the Overlord has decreed battle. If you wish to help, go speak with my soldiers. Return when you have done something useful. The Archon of War pounds the haft of his maul against the ground. Okay, well, we're not going to talk to Ash anymore. Oh, but it looks like Verse wants to talk, as you can tell here. How did you do that? Verse looks at you with a quizzical expression. Do what? Back in the Archon's war tent, you cast an edict as casually as reading a supply shipment. How did you even do that? We can say we don't want to discuss it. We can be coy and say it was nothing, really. Or we can be truthful, maybe a little boastful. Well, I've done it before. You cast the Edict of Fire on the Velium Citadel. I heard about it. How Kairos' anger raised the volcano from the sage's own fortress. That was some impressive work. We can nod silently or be a little proudful. Well, I'd say we're probably pretty proud of our work. That was me, all right. Well, call me impressed, considering that you've read the words of Kairos more than once. I'm surprised that you're even alive to tell about it. Your vocal cords should have turned to ash by now. I'm not trying to make you feel uncomfortable. It's just worth recognizing that what you've done. Not only are you Tunon's Fatebinder, you're the mouthpiece of the Overlord. It gives me plenty of reasons to stick around. You're going places, and I want to see where they lead. We can talk to her some more, but I believe we've exhausted all of our conversations with Verse at the moment. Or we could just say, that's enough. Well, I believe... Oh, there's something in here, and we can unlock it. We got some heavy iron boots and some agates. Well, that's good stuff to sell. And we got a whetstone over here. Anything else in here that we can steal from the Archon of War? Doesn't look like it. Well, let's continue our way outside, back into the Disfavored Camp. Now might be a good time to look about the camp, see what we have here. If it'll load. Now, as I may have mentioned in the past, this game has a bunch of different endings that we can go through. But I'll get to them when we get to them. When we get to the point that we have to talk or choose. We've got these people over here, Marcus and Lucia. Let's go see what they have to say. Start with Marcus. Oh, or we're going to talk to both of them at once, it seems. I am Lucia. This is Marcus. The disfavored soldier points to the armored man next to her. And you must be the Fatebinder. From under her helmet, you hear an audible scoff. We've been assigned to babysit. Assigned to your hospitality, Marcus quickly interjects. While you remain on disfavored ground. If you need a place to rest, we can make it the necessary preparations. Oh, we have a bed. Perfect. What can we do for you? As you see from the first three choices, we can have a we could have had choices based off of the soldier, pit fighter, or hunter backgrounds. But seeing as we are none of them, we don't have access to any of those discussion options. Well, let's ask Marcus about himself. Not sure there's much to tell. I trained at Fort Resolution. This is my first campaign, and I'm proud to be with the Legion. I was wounded at the Gates of Judgment, but Graven Ash's protection mended me good. I owe my life to him. Are you bragging that you let your guard down and took a spear to the gut? You really shouldn't boast about a filthy tearsman besting you in battle. Lucia rolls her eyes. You're just bitter that Lord Ashe never seems to notice you. In all seriousness, I would take that spear again if it brought honor to the disfavored. Kairos knows we could use it. We are the elite fighters of the Northern Army, but somehow we still lack the Overlord's confidence. He shakes his head. Well, if you remember what verse said, this disfavored elite used to fight against Kairos. If these guys fought against me, I'd be a little wary when they bend the knee anyway. Let's ask about Lucia. I do this. She unenthusiastically lifts up her heavy shield, and I do this. She mockingly stabs at the air with her spear. Lucia shrugs. Playing host is not my strong suit. Ignore my sarcasm. I've seen the Legion through my share of the campaign. After so much bloodshed, our pretenses of honor can wear me down. She throws a courteous eye your way. The North is my home, and I consider each and every one of the ironclad bastards in this camp to be my family. You won't find another army where each member of the phalanx is as beloved and cherished as the next. It's probably true, considering they seem to be very close. You seem to be handy with a weapon, Lucia. Oh, we have disfavored honor, so we can ask her about this. Aye, and if you ever want some pointers on how to use that weapon of yours, just let me know. She winks. Lucia, are you flirting with Tunon's Fatebinder? Relax, Marcus. There's plenty of camp slaves if I ever need to scratch an inch. Although, through the visors of her helm, you notice Lucia's eyes roving up and down your body. If you ever need someone to warm your bedroll, let me know. I sleep in my armor. Hope you don't mind. Oh, I think we might mind. How have your skills fared in battle against the Oathbreakers, Marcus? Oh, again, because we have disfavored favor 1, we can have access to this. Every battle is a reminder of the Legion's superiority. The Oathbreakers have plenty of heart, but nothing can beat our northern values and Graven Ash's love. If you ever want to enjoy that feeling, I can spare the time of day to cross iron. I think he's saying we can train with these two. What's it like serving with the disfavored? In spite of our name, the Legion commands more honor than any military on the face of Tyranny. Unlike the chorus, there's tradition, discipline, teamwork, and unity of purpose. Marcus looks out across the camp. There aren't many of us, but it's better that way. We're a tightly knit family, bound together by trust and glory. Accurate enough, Lucia shrugs. After seeing the dignity and bickering of the younger realm's defenders, I feel lucky to be in the most agreeable legion of Kairos' host, even if we're not always the most efficient. If the Legion boasts so much honor, why are they disfavored? Oh, we don't have the reputation to ask this. I'm afraid that isn't for me to say. Others around camp might be able to tell you more, but I don't freely discuss the great general's history to outsiders. But you'll say that involves the great general, which is already telling a clue, idiot. Drat. At least the Iron Marshal isn't within earshot. So, or I'd be washing my mouth out with wormwood. I wonder what wormwood is. Anyway, as they both kind of insinuated, we can train with each one. Now, each level our characters get, we can train with one of any trainer 5 times in a skill, and every trainer trains something different. Let's see what Marcus trains us in. Of course, Fatebinder. Marcus pounds his fist on his armor in salute. Now, Marcus can train in one-handed weapons, two-handed weapons, and parry. As you see, we have 10 trainable slots this level, and only 5 for verse. Now, I don't think either of these are quite good for either of us, but you will notice it costs money. And as our skill goes up, it costs more and more each one. Well, we saw what Marcus has to train us in. What about Lucia? Finally, some fun to break up the monotony of this siege. She can do one-handed weapons, dodge, and athletics. Now, for now, I'm not going to train with either of these two fine legionnaires, as I believe one of the skills that I would rather train right now is actually at another place nearby. So let's look around. Hey, this looks like a member of the Scarlet Chorus. His name, I think he's a he, is Bitter Quip. Oh, these names of the chorus. Oh, we could open this. Well, we'll open this after we talk to this Bitter Quip. Glory to the voices of the rot. Projecting his situation for all to hear, the grinning blood chanter raps his staff against the ground as you approach. Fatebinder Vexx, I presume? His smile quickly retreats, giving way to a sour scowl. I am Bitter Quip. I am here as the emissary of the Scarlet Chorus. Bitter Quip looks at you impatiently. Well, might as well talk to him real quick. What's it like working with the Disfavored? He scoffs, looking away from you a moment before sniffing and returning his attention to you. Reporting to the Iron Hag is an insult. She fought one duel for her title. One. Her leadership must be continuously proven, earned, and defended. Weakness should bleed to the bottom of the army, not rise to the top. My assignment here is also an insult, but one I will bear for the good of the chorus. Bitter Quip sniffs the air, smiling with one side of his mouth. If only to see with my own eyes the failure of the Disfavored. That will be a fine day. What can you tell me about the Scarlet Chorus? The chorus is the future of the tears. I feel only derision and pity for those who fear our inevitable ascension. Bitter Quip looks at you with a raised eyebrow. What in particular would you like to know? What about the voices of Narat? He is supreme commander and public servant. He who sets us free, but directs us all. Bitter Quip smiles as he talks, his face turning flush. The voices of Narat is the epitome of what each of us can be, a magician without equal, and the leader of uncountable numbers. The voices and the chorus are one, conquering, expanding, growing, changing, always stronger. Bitter Quip pounds his staff on the ground. Glory to the voices! Well, he's definitely enthusiastic. Can give him that much. How did you come to join the Scarlet Chorus? The Doctrine of Strength speaks to me, and I answered its call, as did some of my arcane peers. I took to the chorus almost instantly. Unlike most, I cried not for the life of comfort lost to me. My magic invokes fear and terror, and I easily established my dominance over a pack in my early days in the chorus. If you're so curious about it all, Bitterquip smiles, lifting an eyebrow, perhaps you should visit our camp and see for yourself. Well, let's ask him what his role in the chorus is. I am a blood chanter. My magic can turn the will of a man and tide of battle. I have held command for 3 years now, though being forced to keep an eye on the disfavored is not the reward I had envisioned for my service thus far. Well, we can definitely say the fourth option here. Sounds as if you really like the voices in the rot. It's definitely an understatement. Bitterquip blinks several times and scowls, saying nothing. Well, that's about all. He nods as we depart. Well, let's unlock this crate. Oh, we got another accent for, our magic. And we can learn it. Alright, we learned the Sigil of Strength 1. Got this Earthshaker over here. And, this is another named person. His name is Crevis. It's a interesting name, but let's go talk to him. Fatebinder Vexx, am I right? I'm Crevis, Commander and 3rd Generation Disfavored. Specifically, I'm Crevis the Younger. Some folks can't keep track. The rank says Commander, but lately I'm just organizing patrols, trying to stay out of the way. You should talk to the Iron Marshal if you've something official that needs discussing. What is it you need? You can say, I overheard you asking the Earthshaker where their reinforcements have gone. Is there a problem? It's kind of the conversation that they were having in text above their heads that I accidentally skipped over. Well, let's ask them. I'm afraid so. Radix, the head of the Earthshakers, was supposed to arrive with a group of his most competent spell slingers to help break the stalemate. I don't know what's holding up their arrival, and that worries me. If you were at all inclined to lend a hand, we could use some arcane support on our side. Well, if we were soldier or guild apprentice, we could say something here, but neither's true. Well, we definitely want to lend a hand, as we're stuck here too. So why don't we offer a helping hand? Oh, we unlocked a northern crossing. Could you? I knew that Tunon's agent wouldn't fail us in a time of need. I'll mark the last known site of our Earthshaker reinforcements on your map. Good hunting, Fatebinder. What do you think of this has delayed the siege for so long? I'll ask this in a second. The Earthshakers, as you may guess, use a lot of earth magic, and they follow Karn, who is an Archon under the command of Graven Ash. We will learn a little bit more about Karn and the Earthshakers at a later time. But let's continue talking with this Crevis gentleman. Well, we can ask that because we have a favor of 1 with the disfavored. Should have been over real quick and simple. The first cohort arrived in the valley and went right in for the kill. But that was before we knew the veteran guard had sages and that water witch on their side. Water witch. Interesting. Guess they have a mage that can use water magic. A bigger problem is the Scarlet Chorus. They eagerly conscript the veteran guard, but I have no proof of this. But it seems they do very little to keep a watchful eye on those drafted tiersmen. They are often sent out on patrol, and we suspect that they use the opportunity to escape back to the veteran guard. Oh, that's definitely worrying. Now, Verse is speaking up. Every chorus conscript has a choice: life under Kairos or death under the army's boot. By all means, feel free to cut down those who choose the latter. We won't be offended. Just so we don't mistake each other, I know what I'm saying carries an implication of treachery. I'm not making a formal accusation before Tunon's agent. I'm just voicing my gut opinion on the matter. That would be interesting if true. And it kind of makes sense if you think about it. These are conscripted people that are being told go fight against your brothers and sisters and countrymen. That would be very difficult for anyone to do, even if you had a spear at your back. Well, let's ask him about. The armies haven't worked well together in years. Why do you think that is? Come on, Binder. Seems like asking why beasts stink. The Disfavored are only too eager to deliver Kairos' peace to the Tears, while the Scarlet Chorus only brings mayhem in their wake. You can tell the Voices of Narat has a plan, and I'll take your word for it. Oh, you can tell me the Voices of Narat has a plan, and I'll take your word for it. But the Chorus sure seem to blunder around, never moving with purpose as we do. Oh, Verse is not liking this guy. I wonder if we've been fighting the same war, soldier. I've seen Ash yank his precious soldiers away from battles that he's won. If you want to call that progress, be my guest. Unless we find a way to work as one, I fear that the Scarlet Chorus will step in front of Griv and Ash's strategies at every turn. As far as I'm concerned, it seems like the Voices of Narat is here to amuse himself, and the rest of us to do our job. That is definitely borderline treachery, I'd say, but he is entitled to his opinion, and there's no proof, really. Let's ask him about himself. Oh, we got a whole bunch of things to say here. But we do get to say this due to one favor with the Disfavored. Not much to tell. My father was Crevis the Elder. His father was Crevis the First of his name, lead drill master of Ash's Iron Guard. But back when they were the Bronze Guard, I was born into the Legion, and, with any hope, I'll die in the Legion. The rest of you will hopefully hear about me when the storytellers immortalize me. Wait, bronze? But the Disfavored wear iron. Well, his day and age was a century ago. And they don't have Kairos' modern luxuries like iron, so back then the Great General's inner council was known as the Bronze Guard. I guess that makes sense. We can ask him about with lore. He was in the Bronze Guard, so your family must have been with Ash since before he was with Kairos. Oh, we gained Disfavored and lore experience for that. You know your history. Kravis nods with gusto. The blood goes back that far, not the memories, as I only ever knew my father. My grandfather was just a legend, one of Ash's best warriors back before the Disfavored were forged in iron. He shrugs. I'm proud of my heritage, but I try not to brag. The folks who love the Legion every bit much as I do, but they lack the same pedigree. You should be proud of your pedigree. Gain Disfavored with him again. Or with the Disfavored, anyway. Thanks, but I try not to think about it too fondly. If anything, every time I scowl something up, I wish I wasn't dragging the family name through the mud along with me. I believe there was no other questions. Alright, that's all we need. Oh, we have a new quest, remember, about going to the Oathshakers, but we do have this thing we can loot over here. I got some stone shield boots. That's heavy armor though, and I don't want to wear heavy armor. Ooh, what's this? This is a barrack. Oh, and look, he even has a special picture. You can't make out the ironclad soldier's expression under his twisted helmet. He merely stares at you. Well, that definitely looks like old armor now, doesn't it? This is that Iron Marshal that we met in the camp, tent with the Archons. Let's go speak with her. real quick. Okay. Don't just coddle the impact. Push back with your shield. Take the momentum. Iron Marshal NRS, field commander of the Disfavored, pounds her fist in the air as she calls out to the warriors on the training field. I said eyes on your opponent's waistline. If you spend more than a glance checking his footwork, you've lost. The Disfavored officer turns to you, adjusting her pale golden surcoat. Oh, what does that have to say? Judging from her uniform, this is the Iron Marshal Enrius, first among equals in the Iron Guard, Graven Ash's inner circle of trusted followers, the duties of leadership, logistics, and training. There is rarely a quiet day for the second in command of the Disfavored Legions. Oh, so she's the second in command. That's pretty cool. She's clearing her throat. Need to stay on top of the troops, or their skills will rust. It's for their own good, even if they don't deserve it. Huh. They don't deserve it. Neat. It was mentioned you're short of warriors and need help. What's the situation? I have bridges amassing along Placid, Echo Hall, and Little Tooth crossings. The veteran guard may be able to hold one bridge, but they cannot hold against a concentrated three-prong attack. I have no right to give you orders, but... Her words falter, a short cough breaking her flow. But we will all die to Kairos' edict should we fail. So I'm not about to let my pride blind me to the value of good help. This is the second major attack on the river, correct? What happened the last time? Defeat in detail? We carved a bloody path up the river, but at that point, everyone who charged ahead was lost. We had no course backup. It was just a few disfavored squads. I can't tell you exactly how they were defeated, but we lost the whole assault team. She shakes her head, letting out a long, pained sigh. We found bodies washing up the river for days. It's not often the Tearsmen put up a good fight. It certainly made us reevaluate the number we'll need to take this valley. Really? Are you sure our scouts didn't give you all sorts of details about the enemy and you just chose to disregard our warnings? Oh, we could probably take a side in this by the looks of it. You can say, I'm sure the Disfavored would have heeded any such advice. Or we could place blame about the war. Only the Oathbreakers matter now. It sounds like your lack of caution is to blame, not the Scarlet Chorus. I'd say probably the second option would be best. Quite right. Getting our emotions into this mix won't hasten this campaign. Now, let's just say we'll help them out because, well, it'll help get this siege done and we'll survive. Then our plan just might work. The Iron Marshal lifts her gauntlet close to her face, shifting her eyes from you to the metal articulations. We are loath to work with those who do not share our training and our values, but we know that Tunon the Adjudicator selects only the most capable minds for his court, and I trust you will honor us all on the field. Antio will be leading the charge at Echo Call Crossing. Assisting you will be Barrick of the Stone Shields. Oh, we heard about Barrick. I believe that big, massive iron right here was Barrick too. She points to the heavily armored standing sentry at the edge of the training field. Before you ask, no, the Forgebound wasn't sloshed or dapple seed when they fitted his armor. He survived the full force of the Edict of Storms, and his armor doesn't exactly come off. Technically, it's quite brilliant, but otherwise, it's something of a curse. Tapping her helmet twice, and Amorous signals to the hulking presence, Barrick, come meet the Fatebinder. Yeah, that's Beric, all right. Soldier then steps up to you, better resembles an amalgamation of rusted blades and mismatched pieces of armor fused into a vaguely human shape. He reeks of sweat, feces, and whatever oil treatment keeps him flexible. Ew.
Fatebinder, the Iron Marshal has tasked me with keeping you alive, and I have no intention of disappointing her. That should be enough assurance for anyone.
Well, that would definitely be an honor.
Likewise, good Binder.
Oh, we have, looks like we have, because we have Disfavored Favor, he liked that even more. The soldier heaves a heavy iron arm into a salute, his whole body clanging as he rasps his gauntlet against the twisted sheets of metal that form his breastplate.
Beric, is that you under there? I had no idea you were in Vendrian's well. Fatebinder, do you know this walking anchor?
Oh, Verse seems to know Beric. Well, let's ask. Just a minute, you two know each other?
No. Oh, that is to say, yes. I'm already as familiar with this ironclad halfwit as I care to be.
She regards Beric with a mixed look. Oh, they don't seem to get along, do they?
We don't have time to trade jabs today, Verse. After the siege, you can throw as many tantrums as you please. I suggest that we remain focused on the mission.
Well, he seems very focused, doesn't he?
No offense to the mission, but seeing you looking like a garbage heap and reeking of a mass grave is more amusing by far. Did you forget how to don your armor, or did Graven Ash leave you out in the rain?
She's definitely a peach. Beric sighs, a frustrated growl shaking his iron enclosure of a suit. Well, we can now say, I don't believe we've been acquainted, or I know him as well as I knew anyone during the conquest. Well, I don't believe we've actually met Beric yet, so let's say so.
It's challenging enough to experience battle from a courtroom, much less remember the faces of your cohorts. I wouldn't expect you to know me under these accursed blades of rust.
He bangs on his malformed chest armor for emphasis. The Fatebinder will be joining us for the push across the river. I figured an extra hand might help, and more importantly, if my worries come true and the chorus tries to impede this mission, we will have an observer from the court on our side.
Better to work with the Honorable Binder than some chorus children.
Beric nods to you, his armor creaking as he bends his neck. I ask that Beric accompany you to abbreviate the cooperation between his company and the Scarlet Chorus. Oh, Echo Call Crossing is now unlocked on the world map. Beric, you've been without a cohort since the last Battle of Stalwart. It's time we gave you a task more worthy than hauling wagons and leading training drills. She plants her hands on her hips and speaks in a clipped official terms. Ash has assigned you to the Fatebinder service. You are to assume this task ongoing until we find a more permanent spot for you, which could very well mean the swift approaching end of this war, or when the Fatebinder dismisses you. Is that understood? Beric regards the Iron Marshal in oppressive silence. This is an order, Beric. She shakes her head and sighs, returning her focus to you. He can be as stubborn as pulling a spire out of the earth, but he's a good soldier. I hope you don't mind the company. We can say that we're honored to have a member of the Legion with us. I do mind, but I'll allow it anyway, if only so I can put a large object between myself and the enemy, or I'd rather travel on my own. Well, I personally think we'd be a little honored to have a member of the Iron Legion, even if he does look like a rust heap. We gain favor of the disfavored and loyalty with Beric. Excellent. I look forward to your success in the field. Alright. Now you notice we have Barrick in our party, and he has leveled up. I will level him up in the next video, and we will continue to explore the Disfavored Camp. Probably leave it too in the next video. I hope you guys enjoyed, and I hope you guys have a great day.